So tomorrow is election day for Kentucky, but also for Virginia. Virginia voters head to the polls November 3rd to decide state general assembly, county level, and school board races. I've seen the sheriff's race, school board, the supervisor of the revenues, the sheriff's race being the biggest one. But the supervisors are the local county government. There's going to be, they elect 7 of them, and then from those 7 they elect who the chair is going to be, and he's sort of the judge executive, mayor, president, or whatever, the executive of the county. So this is an off-year election for Virginia with no statewide or congressional races, and turnout is expected to be low, but the results could have a significant impact on policy decisions at both the state and local level. WTOP Northern Virginia reporter Max Smith explains what voters need to know before heading to the polls. Number 1, control of the Virginia Senate. After a series of swings in recent years, Republicans entered the election in control of the Senate by a 21-19 margin because Lieutenant Governor Ralph Northam, a Democrat, has the tie-breaking vote. Democrats would need to pick up just 1 seat to gain control of the chamber. Although all 100 seats in the House of Delegates are also up for election this cycle, Republicans are expected to easily maintain their large majority in the chamber, allowing them to challenge many proposals from Governor Terry McAuliffe, a Democrat, regardless of which party has a majority in the Senate. Now, the lieutenant governor is interesting because he actually has a vote. He is the tiebreaker, but that is not given to the lieutenant governor position in Kentucky. The lieutenant governor position in Kentucky is mostly a sinecure position. It's the reason why governors and lieutenant governors have a fallen out. Governors expect them to be obedient, but they don't have really any say-so except for what they can get the governor to do. So it sort of has to be a symbiotic relationship. Sometimes you do things with it, sometimes, one of the 2 key races in Northern Virginia is projected to be in the 29th Senate District, centered around Manassas. Democrat Jeremy McPike faces Republican Hal Parrish for a seat left open by the retirement of Democrat Senator Chuck Colgan. Colgan has represented Manassas, Park, and parts of Prince William County since 1976. The other key race in Northern Virginia has generated heated attacks in parts of Prince William and Loudoun counties where Republican Senator Dick Black is running for re-election. Jill McCabe is the Democrat candidate. Races elsewhere in the state, including Roanoke and parts of the Eastern Shore and Hampton Roads, could also determine which party will control the state Senate. Handful of House races. While district lines drawn to protect many incumbents have made the overall makeup of the House of Delegates nearly a foregone conclusion, there are a handful of local House races that challengers hope will be competitive. Voters in western Fairfax and eastern eastern Loudoun counties will choose a new delegate to represent the 86th District, an area served for 7 terms by retiring Republican Tom Rust. So let's see, there's a handful of House races. The control of the Virginia Senate is up. Voters in western Fairfax, I already said that. Democrat Jennifer Boysko, who lost to Rust 2 years ago by just 32 votes, has raised nearly $400,000. Republican Danny Vargas has raised nearly $325,000. Independent Paul Brubaker is also in the race and has reported nearly $9,000 in contributions and loans. Voters in eastern Loudoun County will also choose a new delegate to replace Republican David Ramadan, who opted not to seek another term, representing the 87th District. Democrat John Bell, Republican Chuang Nguyen has raised more than $560,000 combined. Libertarian Brian Sujinin has raised $1,691. Local leaders also on the ballot would be the races for the top posts in local communities, including the city of Alexandria, plus Fairfax, Loudoun, and Prince William counties. The Alexandria race for mayor, this is Buchanan County here. The Alexandria race for mayor is among the least predictable in what is expected to be a low turnout election. Current Mayor Bill Yulee lost a Democratic primary challenge to Vice Mayor Allison Silberberg, but he has since launched a write-in campaign against her. The 4-way race for Loudoun County Board Chair is potentially equally interesting. Current Chairman Scott York is running as an independent after initially announcing plans to leave the board. He re-entered the race after the supervisor he endorsed to replace him, Sean Williams, ended his own campaign for chair and resigned from the board following revelations of alcohol issues, a violent confrontation with a former girlfriend, and a misdemeanor arrest. York faces Republican Charlie King, Democrat Phyllis Randall, and another independent candidate, Thomas Belanca, for the chairman seat. York leads in fundraising, followed by King, Randall, and Belanca, according to the Virginia Access Project. Local boards and councils, in addition to the chairman post on each county board, district supervisor seats are also on the ballot in counties across the region. In Fairfax County, voters will fill the seats of two long-serving supervisors who are retiring. Supervisor Jerry Highland has represented the Mount Vernon district since 1987, and Michael Frey has represented the Sully district since 1990. In Loudoun and Prince William counties, development, county spending, traffic, and safety issues top the debate in several supervisor races. In Arlington, 2 of the board's 5 seats are open for the first time in years. All seats on the Arlington board are at large. In Alexandria, all 6 city council seats are also on the ballot. Alexandria's council members are all elected at large and serve 3-year terms. School board and constitutional offices, the voters will also choose nonpartisan candidates for school boards. Virginia only lists party affiliations on the ballot for General Assembly, statewide, and federal races. That means voters who may otherwise rely on party affiliation must do their research before heading to the polls. Recent decisions like new school start times, salaries, and curriculum are among the issues up for debate in some races. Constitutional officers are also on the ballot, which in most communities include the sheriff, Commonwealth's attorney, which is another big one, clerk of the circuit court, commissioner of revenue, and treasurer. Another thing I noticed, actually, the difference between Kentucky and Virginia, Kentucky has way more local counties, but they also have a county attorney. So I don't know if there's no county attorney, it's just a Commonwealth attorney here. But every county has a county attorney, and Commonwealth attorney is over each one of those county, attorneys. So 6, how to vote. Polls will be open from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Tuesday, November 3rd. Voters in Virginia are required to show a photo ID like a driver's license, passport, and employee identification card or a voter identification card. Voters who forget to bring identification with them can cast a provisional ballot. That will be counted as long as they present a copy of a valid photo ID to the local electoral board by noon on the Friday following the election. Virginia voters who meet one of the long list of requirements, including a commute and workday that lasts 11 hours or more, can vote absentee either by mail or in person. The deadline to apply for a mail-in absentee ballots passed. In-person absentee ballots passed. Voters can find a sample ballot on the State Board of Elections site. Select a locality and precinct. Leave the other boxes blank. Then choose 2015 November General. See a sample of the drop-down options below. So you want to know who's running in your district? Check it out. I mean, I don't know. I think Kentucky's going to have a low voter turnout rate, about 30% or so I wonder how Virginia's going to do. It seems like at least western Virginia is very similar to eastern Kentucky, right? They're next door to each other. So we shall see how, tomorrow, once all the polls are closed, who won the election? How did everybody do? So Virginia actually has all the local positions. That's important. The local positions almost might be more important. I don't want to say it might be more important because they actually don't have any power. They're only administrative units of the state. But being that they're localized, people know them. They see them every day. They see them at basketball games, soccer games, and being that they see them on a daily basis, they can hold them accountable much more easier. And so that's a good thing for democracy. So go vote, America.